Good evening, guys. Today we'll be talking about the Myerson classification, which was originally a modification of the Queneau-Inclus classification of Lisfranc injuries. So, coming to the Myerson classification, it's divided into three headings: type A, B, and C. A is total incongruity, B is partial incongruity, and C is divergent. So, total incongruity, what that means is, if we have the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth metatarsals and we call them rays, all five metatarsals displace either laterally or medially or in the dorsoplantar direction, either dorsally or plantarly. What I mean is, as you can see here, the metatarsals are displaced dorsally. So they can displace, all five can displace either dorsally or plantarly also. Here, as you can see, only the first and second ones are displaced. The third and fourth are still, in their normal position. So this is not an example of total incongruity, but I just showed you that X-ray to explain what dorsoplantar displacement meant. Coming to the second type, which is partial incongruity, which is divided into B1 and B2. B1 is medial dislocation. What that means is the first metatarsal usually dislocates in the medial direction, whereas the lateral four are usually intact. But in rare situations, the first metatarsal can displace medially, along with the second and third also can displace medially. That's B1. B2 is when the first metatarsal is intact and the second till the fifth all can displace in the lateral direction, or only one or two, maybe the second and third can displace laterally, or the second, third, and fourth can displace laterally, or in rare situations even only the second can displace laterally. This is an example of partial incongruity lateral dislocation, B2 type. And type C is divergent. Divergent again can be divided into partial displacement C1 and complete displacement C2. Partial displacement, what they mean by that is, the first metatarsal goes medially and the second and third metatarsal only can go laterally, or it can be second, third, fourth. What they mean by complete displacement is the first has gone medially and the second, third, fourth, and fifth, all four have gone laterally. So all are displaced. So this is called complete displacement. Partial displacement can be either second, third, fourth, second, third, or even only the second. But the first one has to go medially and the remaining have to go laterally. This is what they mean by divergent. And one more interesting point to note is that usually with total incongruity, the base of the second metatarsal is fractured. Why? Because you can see the second metatarsal, which provides the keystone for the arch of the midfoot, is deeper seated compared to the first, third, fourth, and fifth metatarsals. You can see it's deeper compared to the bases of the remaining. So this is usually fractured in complete total incongruity situations. And this is just a image showing the same thing. You can take a look at it and pause the video, because we'll be going through some examples. So what do you think this X-ray shows? What type? Where would you classify this? You can go ahead and pause the video. I'll just go ahead. So this would be, as you can see, a partial incongruity type B2 lateral. You can see it's a type B2 because the second and third have gone laterally, fourth and fifth look more or less intact. So it's a B2 partial incongruity type B2 lateral, again partial. What I mean by partial incongruity type B2 lateral complete is when second, third, fourth, fifth all go laterally. Okay. Next X-ray. What type do you think this is? You can pause the video again. You can see the second, third, fourth, and fifth all have gone laterally, whereas the first ray seems to be in place. So this would be partial incongruity type B2 lateral. So you can see first metatarsal is intact and the second, third, fourth, fifth are all displaced laterally. Now, where would you classify this X-ray? Yes, if you said type A total incongruity lateral, you would be correct. In the dorsal, I don't have the lateral exercise, so if I had them, we could look at the dorsoplantar displacement. But as you can see, this is a total incongruity, as first, second, third, fourth, fifth all have moved in one direction laterally. So this is type A lateral total incongruity. All right, those are all the examples I have. Thank you for listening, and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.